next week's score for the Broncos. So we have a few things still to get into as far as the Broncos go. We have a few things to get into. I know. Oh, I was gonna get into some of the, because I had over in the groups, I had over 100 and something comments on, but I'll read some of them to you, and then you let me know. Inbox me, write it in the chat, however you feel more comfortable. Let me know what you think about some of them. I'm going to get to that part too. But because I had a lot of people disagreeing with me, I had a lot of people that agreed with me. I had some people that even took it a step further and gave us a rundown of some other options the Broncos could have right now. So there's a lot. Plus, like I said, we got to talk about the playoffs, which the Broncos are in the 9th position right now when they were in the 6th position when we were in the playoffs. All they had to do was win the game this weekend, and they were in the playoffs still, and they didn't pull the game out. So it's pretty tough to watch when they didn't pull the game out. So real quick, I'll play a real quick shot of some music just for a few seconds while I switch over. And then when I come back, I'm going to give you the quick injury report. We got to do a recap of the football game and some other things. And if you have any questions, make sure to inbox me. Ike Diaz, attention Ike Diaz. You can inbox here, or you could write in the chat, and every week, guys, everybody knows I get a couple hundred inboxes. I return every message, so make sure that you send it in, and I'll return every message on my thoughts of the Broncos, since it's the sports show, but I'm all about the Broncos. I know we need to be back in the Super Bowl. I understand. Troy, hey, Troy, what's up, Troy? Troy's listening in right now, and he just said we need to be back in the Super Bowl. I know, man. But you got to remember, it's a long ride to the Super Bowl, Troy. It just don't happen over tonight, man. The Broncos got some work to do, and they need some help in the playoffs, man. They got some work to do, and they need a little bit of help. So let me go over to a little quick bit of music, and then we'll come back and I'll go over the quick injury reports, and we'll talk a little bit about the fight that happened in the locker room before we recap the game. It wasn't a major fight, but I talked to about 4 or 5 people today about it. But we'll talk a little bit more about it. So check it out for a second. I'm gonna give me a breather, and you'll be back live with Ike Diaz and the sports show on KBLP, the #1 sports podcast station from Colorado. Make sure you tune in to me every Monday. Thank you, guys. So we can come through, SUVs, we slide through, sets tripping, but it's not even red and blue. With 2 heaters, I'm cool. She told her homie, look over there, it's IKE the blue. Saturated, filthy, fat, and they I go heat it up, then I move. It's the winter, but we got a sunny side groove. Underground planet, so I got nothing to prove. Your mechanics are loose. You don't want to be on a train, so you'll get knocked off the caboose. I'm in to win it, I paid my dues. Archuleta Mendez, but I hot when I cruise. I pull a bear in a winter. I pray every day, even though we're all sinners. You're back live with Ike Diaz and the Ike Diaz Sports Show on KBLP every Monday. You could check it out. We talk sports. We talk football. Once again, shout out to the Denver Nuggets for a great game tonight. And I want to get into the injury bug for the Broncos this weekend. So it really wasn't a lot. I had a couple questions about C.J. Anderson and was it Ronnie? Yeah, Ronnie. Shout out to Ronnie. C.J. Anderson. It looks like if we do get a chance to make it to the playoffs, looks like C.J. Anderson may come off of IR on the last game against the Raiders. That's what it looks like. That's the soonest he could be available to come off of IR. That way he'll be prepared for the playoffs if we get a chance to get into the playoffs. So it looks like Ronnie C.J. Anderson will be back this year. If the Broncos have a chance to get into the playoffs, we may see C.J. Anderson. And we may not, this may be the last year we see C.J. Anderson. I don't know if the Broncos are going to bring him back. I know they gave him a contract, but I don't know if they're going to bring him back. So injuries from this game, you had 3 injuries that are kind of concerning, or they're concerning. We gotta watch out for, because we're kind of short on tight ends, and 2 of our tight ends went into concussion protocol. So you had AJ Derby, who caught a concussion this weekend. I don't remember him taking a wild hit. I remember him catching the ball and landing funny. That may have been the place where he took it. And then you had Virgil Green, who caught a concussion early in the game. And then, so Virgil Green is listed. I don't think Virgil Green's going to play. AJ Derby seems like he's day-to-day, so we'll see. We'll see if he gets to play this next game. And then you had Derek Wolfe, who re-injured that neck injury that he had earlier in the season. So I think he missed the whole second half, or the 3 quarters, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he played very much at all. But they're listing him as day-to-day, and the latest reports from SportsIllustrated.com said that he'll be back on for the Christmas Eve or Christmas Day game. I can't remember what day it falls on. I think it's Christmas Day that they're playing. So Derek Wolfe should be back for that game, but he re-injured that neck injury. And then, like I said, C.J. Anderson, the soonest I know he's practicing. I know he's been out and he's been working out. But as soon as he could play would be the Raider game, the Denver Bronco Raider game, which would be the last game. So if C.J. Anderson plays that game, that's a good sign that the Broncos are probably going to make the playoffs. So we just got to cross our fingers and hope that he plays that game. So it'd be great to see him in the game. So I was going to talk injury. That's our injury report. There is a few nicks and bruises out there. But this is the time of the year that happens, and everybody got to step up and play through them, because this is the time of the year that the championship teams are built, and champion team, even the strongest teams have injuries where they fight through them and they play through these injuries, and they go out there and they keep playing hard and they advance and they work forward into the playoffs. Hey, Chris Stevens, thanks for joining in, buddy. I appreciate it. I just saw right now. I don't get a look at the. Remember, I said last week I don't get a look at the chat as much, but I return all the chats. Hey, Jasmine, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Gotta say hi to my buddy Chris is in the chat. So make sure you get in when you join in and you listen. Make sure that you stop by the chat, and I make sure I give everybody a shout out when they stop by the chat. So after the game, I know I've talked with this all day today. It seemed like everybody I talked to about the game wanted to know more about the fight that went on in the locker room after the Bronco game, and I talked to Russell Okung about it. He was the one who kind of instigated the fight, and I just briefly brought it up, and I got to hear kind of what they said. So it was kind of, I don't really get to talk one-on-one with the athletes, but I get to talk with the group. With the athletes. So I kind of basically listen in, but I did throw in a couple screwball questions to figure out what happened in the fight. So I guess, our coaches wanted, the players to see who the leadership was. And Russell Okung stepped up. And, he's only been with the team this year. He stepped up and he kind of gave his side, on the way he felt about how the team was going. And one of our defenders, everybody knows Talib, he gets in the business with everybody. So I guess they got in a little scuffle. And, the linemen came to help out Russell Okung. And, the DBs came back and helped out Talib. But, as far as it ended right there, Talib and Russell Okung, they're cool. There's no problems, no bad feelings. Emotions were high. The Broncos had just lost a game. If you're in a locker room, I played sports for a long time. If you're in a locker room, I remember being on a team one year where we actually went to the championship, and that whole season we were in fights almost every other game. So it's a part of the game. There was disagreements, not fights, like every other game that we played in. So, and we ended up going to the championship. We didn't win, but at least we got there. So Chris, my internet is working tonight. The other night for the jam, Lisa ran it from her end because I couldn't run it on my end. But we're live with sports, KBLP, Ike Diaz. I got Chris in here with me. Thank you, Chris. The party's on now. The freaks are out. I better get back to sports. I better get back to my sports draw. But I'm glad you're here with the freaks. I'm glad you're letting the freaks out tonight, Chris. The freaks are out. I need some more pop and water is what I really need. I'm going to have to take me a little breather here and go grab me some pop and some water in a second. I didn't give myself enough. So, we'll get into... Actually, let me go ahead and grab me some more pop and water real quick, guys. I'll play a real quick song for everybody. When I come back, we're going to finish up. We're going to wrap up. We're going to talk about the Broncos. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and then where we stand as far as the playoff run. So I want to thank everybody that's listening. If you can join the chat, we ask everybody to join the chat. Before I go into the Broncos, when I come back, I'm going to give our weekly announcement for all the podcasts this week, because like I said, we have a great lineup of podcasters. Everybody is awesome. You want to check everybody out. Everybody's podcast is amazing, and you have to check it out. Make sure you check us out on iHeart, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. There's so many different places. So make sure if you can't find an inbox, and we'll give you direction on how to find the one you're looking for. Go Broncos. I know this is Monday and everybody's a little hurt, and when the Broncos lose, I don't get as many listeners as I should, like I normally do, but I'm still proud of everybody who's still supporting and coming out with the listeners. Oh, I also want to get into, because like I said, I posted in some of the groups and I have over 100 different comments, so I'm going to read some of those comments off to you guys, and hopefully you can get back to me and let you. I want to hear what you think of some of the responses I got in some of the groups, because they were pretty crazy. So be right back. Gonna grab me some more. Tonight I'm not drinking Dr. Pepper. I'm drinking Wild Cherry Pepsi and ice cold water. So be right back in a second. I keep the heat in the winter, mile high bomb dropping, bombing, bomb dropping, bombing. I keep the heat in the winter, bomb dropping. I keep the heat in the winter, mile high bomb dropping, bombing, dropping. Bro, I know Colorado grow, might check it in the snow. I'm in a 4x4 zone. Everybody rock the Facebook from the South Phone. I hit it up, then I get that dough. Signing autographs up in Breckenridge, Colorado show. It's a festival, but money loves me, bro. Huff and puff and release that smoke. Steady ballin' will make you choke. It's fun to be about the low. I got my eye on the prize. I stay off dope in my photo truck. $100,000 I made in 1 month. The homies bumpin' Chicano Boost Part 2 in they trunk. Everywhere I go, I get love. Now I got the plug. I used to be a beer thirsty thug. In the winter, it's rum and coke in a beer mug. I'm rocking 24s when they used to be dubs. Here in the winter and the homies are getting drunk. I'm on that paper round. I keep the heat in the winter, bomb dropping. I keep the heat in the winter, mile high bomb dropping, bombing, bomb dropping, bombing.
to the jam with Ike Dog.
I had to put the jam in there.